We are not talking about the Oscars on this week's episode, nor are we talking about the Grammys. I'm coining it right here, right now. Today's episode is the SCRUFFYs, the award show all of you downtown fans and listeners of the podcast have been waiting for.
Do you get a little golden Ryan Wilusz when you win?
No, that would be good. That might have some value to it. Maybe a little golden Sunsphere would be more like it. In fact, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about the Sunsphere at some point today because we are giving out not only uniquely Knoxville recipients of these awards, these categories themselves are uniquely Knoxville, uniquely scruffy. You're not going to see the best new artist or best new whatever that you would see at the Grammys. You're going to see things like best creature comforts, best glow-ups, most random business openings, some real quirky categories, some real awesome winners, and really awesome to have you on the podcast again. Welcome to the show, Keenan.
Hi, glad to be back. This is Keenan Thomas, the higher education reporter.
And I am Ryan Wilusz, downtown growth and development reporter at KnoxNews and host of the Scruffy Stuff, which we are going to jump right into right now. And so I talked about it at the top of the episode. I was thinking about who really improved this year. Instead of doing most improved, we're going to do best glow up. And I'm going to say the Sunsphere. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. If you have not been looking up in the sky lately, you might not have noticed that the Sunsphere stalk has gone from green to blue, back to the original Pantone blue hue that it was when it was originally built. I believe it was the 2020 color of the year as well, so a very classy choice by Visit Knoxville to do that. And this is part of a bigger renovation project to the Sunsphere that will include a visitor center as well as some permanent lighting, which we're very excited about.
It's going to start reflecting off into the downtown.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's weird that it doesn't light up at night, but there's some reasons behind it. One of the main reasons is, hey, let's make it like something worth visiting before we like put it brightly on display. And if you're okay with it, Keenan, I just want to jump into another one as well, just because it's fresh on the mind. Not too long ago, I had the chance to witness the best Knoxville homecoming, and that obviously is Kelsey Ballerini at Thompson-Boling Arena, in which I did one of my famous, not really, but I did a review of her concert using only her lyrics that I was very proud of, and I know Knoxville was very proud of her, seeing her, grow from this little-known artist to now. I mean, I've been seeing her perform on award shows. I mean, I saw her perform in person, which was awesome, but she's obviously getting the acclaim beyond Knoxville, and really cool to see her first major headlining arena show take place in her hometown, and the fact that she still claims Knoxville, having moved to Nashville. Knoxville is obviously still a special place to her, and it was a very special moment to see that at Thompson-Boling Arena at Food City Center. It's a mouthful.
Yeah, she joined your special ranks of Paul McCartney and Elton John there.
Yeah, and the Eagles as well. So she is in good company.
One that I've been covering a little bit here, but I would have to agree in Ryan's initial declaration of this award. This one is best beverage, which is just wine in general, because wine has had a real come up this year in Knoxville. There's been the opening of 00 Wine Bar in Happy Holler. Frequent spot of mine at this point. There's Sparrow Wine Bar over in Farragut, but also shout out to Crafty Bastard for creating their own wine under the name Style Light, which I did get to try recently, and it's really, really good. I actually was really surprised how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Keenan has a whole story about how wine has kind of been put on the map in Knoxville in a new way. Double S Wine Bar recently opened up their new location, and I had a chance to go over to Lilu, the new French bar and restaurant opening up. And I mentioned this briefly in the story, but I think it's worth mentioning here on the podcast because I didn't get to dive into it as much, and it was kind of more hard to explain in written word than to talk about it. But Aaron Thompson over at Lilu said, hey, we want to have access, increase the access that Knoxvillians have to wine in Knoxville. And part of what he said is, hey, if we can prove through Lilu that people like these high-end wines, then whenever it becomes time for a winery or a distributor to begin looking at what they're going to bring to a market, they have that proven example of Lilu already. So what he said to me was like, look at Blackberry Farm, for example. A bottle of wine at Blackberry Farm is really successful. Next year, instead of just sending one to Blackberry Farm, let's send a bunch into the Knoxville market and distribute those among different places that serve wine. And so expect that to continue with more places like Lilu opening up as well.
And there's downtown Wine and Spirits right on Gay Street that you can go and ask them any questions and try some wines. They're very, very helpful in my experience. The manager there, DEL, he's opening up a wine shop over in Happy Holler soon.
Yeah, and I'm going to stick in Happy Holler in my next one because my next one is the most random. I wanted to almost call it the head scratcher award, but it's not a head scratcher. Has a negative connotation. This is a cool place. It's the most random business opening of the year, and I'm going to have to go with Ahoy, which was my headline on this story, which I guess caught some of your attention. The Pirate Tavern. That was originally the E-Vape Tavern. I think that kind of threw some people off because it's a pirate bar in Happy Holler. And now it's the Pirate Tavern and E-Vape Dispensary. I mean, you go in there, if you're a vape lover, you have unlimited options, it seems, to choose from. If you're a pirate lover, there's something for you, too. So if you vape and love pirates, this is your place. The whole bar is made out of like a pirate ship. It's really cool.
Have you been in it yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They get fully committed. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I have.
I'll stick in the same general area, too, because there's also the best brewery, which we've awarded it to Schultzbräu. Partially because we love Schultzbräu, but also because they won a major award this year as one of the top breweries in the nation. They're fantastic. I think we've gone several times this year, either to watch the game or just go to Oktoberfest. It's so fun. Again, if you haven't been to Schultzbräu, it should be a top priority brewery in Knoxville.
Yeah, and I'm excited. Actually, this is my favorite time of year to be outside at Schultzbräu in the igloos by the fire pits with some of their warm beverages. So very excited for that to be gearing up. Also, I would like to talk about the best creature comfort of the year. Something you didn't know you needed till you needed it, or until you had it. And actually, I guess probably in this day and age, people really do want to log on to their phones and onto their social media while at Neyland Stadium. And so therefore, the award goes to the new Wi-Fi at Neyland Stadium. I sat in my seat and watched another football game on my phone instead of the poor performance against Austin Peay. They did win that game, but there's more going on ESPN and SEC Network that was more interesting to me. And so all that to say, it works well. So now you can have a beer in Neyland. You can get on the internet in Neyland Stadium. You can do everything except watch the football game in Neyland Stadium.
I actually had a similar experience. I went to the Vanderbilt game, and the guy next to me was watching the Iron Bowl. So I just kind of started looking over and seeing how that was going.
It is great, though. I mean, beyond that, just being able to text and meet up with friends or whatever it is that you need to do. Just even posting stuff from the game is only going to help University of Tennessee to be able to have make it easier on fans to post photos of how awesome of a time they're having in Neyland Stadium. So shout out to that creature comfort. And Keenan, you got another one?
I've got another one. I've got the biggest food surprise. This is for a restaurant or a meal or something that just kind of took me back a little bit. And I'm going to give that to DiCarlo's Pizza off Gay Street. It's an Ohio-based pizza chain. It's their first one in Knoxville. And when you describe Ohio Valley-style pizza to people, they go, "What is that? Why would I want to try that?" For those who don't know, it's where they cook the crust and the sauce, and then before they serve it, that's when they put on the cheese and the pepperoni. So it comes out cold in that sense, but the pizza's still hot. I tried it right around when they opened, just kind of on a whim, and was really surprised at how much I actually liked it. Enough to go back, not too long after that. It's surprisingly really good. I would recommend it.
And they do by the double slice, I think, right? Not by the single slice. You can get 2 slices, which is awesome.
You can get 2 slices. You can get it in a few slices in a box, or you can get a full tray of pizza.
Love it. I would like to give an award to the best patio. And we had multiple, I think we had 2 episodes dedicated to the patio rankings, figuring out, we did sort of power rankings, what's the best patio in Knoxville. And so you think you might know the answer if you listen to those. I'm changing it up on you, and my answer is the best patio downtown is any of them that still have plants on them. Because if you kept up with the podcast and with our coverage over at KnoxNews.com, that should have been the biggest head scratcher award. Why are people pulling plants out of the patio planters? It's a thing that's happening. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I tried to get down to the rhyme or reason of it, but at the end of the day, it ended up being a cool story, I think. You know, it wasn't just about like, get out of my backyard. Not, it wasn't kind of just like a, that type of piece. It was really trying to look at, what plants add to a downtown, the possible reasons people might do this, how we can all be better as a city. And so, yeah, this is kind of a silly one, but best patio, yes. Any patio that is able to keep their plants intact gets my vote.
So my next award is Best 70s Themed Bar.
Ooh, wonder which one this is going to go to.
Wonder which one this one's going to be. That goes to Fly By Night over off Sevier Avenue. Another spot we've popped in throughout the year. Just always great vibes. It's even when it's busy and crowded, like it feels comfortable and like you're not too stuffed in.
I was going to give them my best Frozen Harvey Wallbanger award, but there you go.
I mean, it also would get that because it is really good. But some killer cocktails, some fun atmosphere. It's a great way to spend a night out with some friends without going like too crazy.
Yeah, I took my mom there recently. I was like, "Don't you remember this?" She's like, "I'm not that old," but we had some of the the sort of the snack mix, and we had some of the smoked weenies or sort of the weenies in the sauce as well while we were there. So good little nibbles as well. Much like yours, I think this one's going to be very obvious who this goes to if you have kept up with downtown coverage, and this is going to be the best street fight that I'm aware of. Maybe there was a really good one that we did not report about, but I think it's hard to beat lucha masks and fighting on the patio of Jackson Terminal and of Poor. I'm talking about Next Gen Wrestling. They had an AEW wrestler come in for a show and some former WWE wrestlers. They put on a great performance in Jackson Terminal, and all of a sudden the fight went outside. All the fans followed. People were watching from their windows. It was one of those like uniquely downtown type of moments that could only happen in a downtown. And I think it was a reminder to everyone that, yes, downtown, as much as we all like to go and hang out in it, it's also a neighborhood. And so getting to talk to some of the people that were like, what's going on down there? They thought it was a fight that broke out at a wedding, since Jackson Terminal has so many of those. But even better than that, it was a fight that broke out between an AEW lucha wrestler and a swarm of fans following along watching. So one of my favorite moments of the year. I'm also a wrestling fan. I think based off of how successful it was and people reading it, I think other people enjoyed it as well.
Maybe we'll get more street fights this year.
Yeah. We'll come back to this one next year, and we'll see.
I think my last one that I've got here is best fantasy themed business. Now, there's been a few popped up in Knoxville.
So this one's not as obvious, right?
This one's not as obvious as Ancient Lore Village.
Or I mean, as obvious as like the best 70s themed cocktail bar, because we actually do have like a few fantasy themed things.
But I'm going to give this to Fable Hollow Coffee and Bookshop. Kind of opened real late last year, but held a grand opening in the spring. I finally went and visited it recently. It's like off Broadway, heading into Fountain City, but it's really good. It's a lot of fun. There's like a great selection of books. They've got a nice little coffee shop with some lounge area, so you can kind of sit down and like read and get a seasonal drink. It's really great if you just want to get lost amongst like fantastical elements of it all.
I have not been over there yet. I've heard great things, and like I mentioned, it's not like it's the only fantasy. They actually had to beat somebody to win this award, because you also have Alice in Appalachia as well on Market Square. Well, the last one for me before we get into what I'm going to call the big awards, beyond just the best ofs, we have some special awards that we want to give out. I'm going to have Swankiest New Apartments as my final award to give, and that's going to go to Church and Henley. We've talked about this area of town before, is how it needs a little bit more happening over there before we can get over the fact that there's a highway running through west downtown Knoxville, a neighborhood that we coined. And Church and Henley is bringing a little bit more vibrancy over there. It's also bringing some wild amenities, man, some stuff that I've never seen in a apartment complex before. They have a meditation room. There's a bicycle repair area. And when I went, there was a dog park that was still under construction. They had like a area where you could like lease or borrow all kinds of household items, like appliances and stuff that maybe you wouldn't purchase for yourself, as well as a maker space just to get some work done, a pet grooming spa, and also some smart workout equipment, which was really cool to see by the company that was the official exercise equipment for Formula One drivers. So, if you're a Formula One driver, maybe you're one of those people that rev your engines on Gay Street, which is a topic for an entirely different episode. This is the workout equipment for you. It's also one of the most expensive apartments downtown. So there's that as well. But just a really cool space, something new in the market. And yeah, like I said, the swankiest, pretty swanky over there.
Swanky.
So now we're going to go into the big awards, some special things that we wanted to hand out. And to start things out, we have the Got You Good Award, which is the best sort of prank downtown, one of the funniest moments of downtown. And I'm going to go back to whenever some pranksters put some road closed signs from the construction site at the stadium at the ends of Central Street. Really got them good, but it was kind of cool. Essentially what happened was it closed it down to vehicles. All the people that were partying there in the block kind of got to spill out to the street a little bit. And now we're seeing the city actually experiment with real open streets, actually closing them down. I mentioned in a story that I just wrote about how that area where the pranksters did it could actually be a good candidate for where open streets could grow into, if not the 400 block. And there is a possibility that the city will start looking at other places. So that is my Got You Good Award. Not only was it a prank, it was a prank that I'm not going to say influenced the city, but it ended up not being, so crazy after all, because the city's trying to do it themselves now. So there you go.
That could really work too. When the stadium's built,
yeah.
They just close that area off and have it be this giant open walkway.
Even down Jackson as well. Yeah. So
take it to a somber note here.
Aww.
So now we have the Sad to See You Go Award, which we are giving to Ollie B for closing down this year in a way where the owner and head chef Jeffrey D'Alejandro did so on his own accord. Went, hey, I'm out, and just went out with a bang with like lines down the block for its last few days. But we're still missing those biscuits and everything that Ollie B had to offer. So sad to see you go.
Went from biscuits to burgers, though. Smash City Knoxville is now in the space, which is another popular place to get food here in Knoxville. So, one door closes, another one opens. It was the same door, though. Yeah. They just new people.
Same door. They slightly changed it.
Well, I'm going to go next to the Talk of the Town Award. What has everybody been talking about this year? Now that I look at it, perhaps there is a bigger one to choose from. But this one is one that's like, it might not be that sad to a lot of people, but to the people that are sad about it, I think it's really sad. Specifically people who live in South Knoxville, or who drive from downtown to South Knoxville the other way around, or maybe people who have taken pictures in front of the JFG sign before. This is also could have fallen under the Sad to See You Go Award, but we're going to just say this is something that everybody's been talking about at least recently, and that's, where is the JFG sign going to go? Because it was taken down over some not conflicting narratives per se. The people that own the JFG sign said, we think this property is going to be sold. The people who were leasing the property said they took it away on their own. The property is not sold. And so it was just taken down, and it needs some repair works. And hopefully in 2024 we see that sign come back, because, it was an icon. It was an icon of Knoxville. It's not a Sunsphere. It's not a Tennessee Theater marquee, but it's pretty darn close up there on the hill. And then I want to go next to the Maybe Next Time Award. All of these sound kind of sad, by the way. We built up all these best of, and then we said we're going to end it with these big awards, and they're all downers. But this one is,
we'll end on a good note.
For sure. This one is one that actually, and I don't mean it in a sad way. It is sad that it happened the way that it did, but maybe next time it's optimistic, it's positive. Maybe next time you'll get them. And this is going to River Breeze Event Center, which was not downtown, but you could. One of the big selling points for it was you could take a free trolley if you had a ticket from downtown to River Breeze Event Center, which was not far away. So I still consider it a downtown business in a way. And man, they just faced problem after problem, cancellation after cancellation. There were sound issues. There was hurricanes. There was somebody getting arrested, one of the performers getting arrested, and it just never, ever quite got to where we thought it would be, which is something similar to the Salvage Station in Asheville, Riverside Music Venue with food trucks and beer, and, you walk down to the water, and, shuttles and great performers, and there's a big open space, and it just never got there. And so it sounds like River Breeze Event Center is going to take a little bit of time, reset, and hopefully we see it come back in some capacity, perhaps next year. I would love to see it. I think it's something that's it's not missing from our city because it's not something you need, but it is a great amenity if you have one. You know, having been to Salvage Station in Asheville, I loved it and was really excited to see it. Something similar here in Knoxville. So time will tell. Sticking with music, although this is not a music-specific award, though the recipient is a musician. Knoxville Ambassador. Now, this is the person who, I guess showcased Knoxville to the larger world who, you know, and obviously you want somebody that's positive to do that. You know, there's been some negative news come out of Knoxville. So this is somebody who, made Knoxville proud, I guess. And Keenan, do you want to share who that is?
Yeah, our Knoxville ambassador is Adeem the Artist.
Adeem the Artist, 2023 Knoxville Ambassador, the inaugural Knoxville Ambassador on the Scruffys. And we've done something like this similar before. Maybe we'll keep the Scruffys going next year, but if we don't, you're the inaugural and the one and only Knoxville Ambassador. And Adeem has been on the podcast before. They did an awesome 3 songs, I believe, and had a great conversation with them about, you know, sort of how they went from Knoxville artists, and they've been making music for a really long time, to blowing up on a national scale, playing the Opry, getting the recognition of major artists like Jason Isbell and Brandi Carlile. Had a chance to see them perform at Barley's with a full band, which was awesome. There are rumors, and I know we don't spread rumors here on the Scruffy Stuff podcast, but there are rumors they might have a slot at Bonnaroo next year. And on top of all that, you know, weighing in on, and this is not to say, you know, we feel one way or the other about, you know, Adeem being very open about certain things that are going on, but the fact that they are open, they have had an opportunity to weigh in on a lot of different things beyond Knoxville and share their voice in a way that I think a lot of people connected with, whether it was weighing in on the Jason Aldean controversy, which made some headlines, or just really any issue. And it's the same thing they do with their music. I mean, it's not just something you sing along to. I mean, I think, you know, their music specifically has a message behind it and talks about a lot of serious things while still being light and funny. And so a little bit of everything. Adeem did a little bit of everything this past year. And one of the coolest things, I think, is the fact that as they were doing this, Knoxville was always in the conversation. And if you enjoyed this conversation all about Knoxville, of course, we would love for you to subscribe if you don't already. So hit that like or subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening on. And be sure to give us a rating and a review, a 5-star one. If you would, tell us what you like about the show, maybe what you would like to hear us talk about next. As always, the Scruffy Stuff is brought to you by KnoxNews, so head on over to subscribe.knoxnews.com to support local journalism today and get unlimited access to not just all of our downtown stories and all of our Knoxville stories, but everything you would want to know about East Tennessee, from politics to sports to growth and development to business to education to fun, exciting things going on. Knox News is the place for that. And if you'd like to keep up with me in between episodes, you can give me a follow on Instagram. That's the best place, at KnoxScruff. You can always send me an email at ryan.wilsz@knoxnews.com. And Keenan, what's the best way for people to keep up with you?
Just keep reading our work over at knoxnews.com, or you can shoot me an email at keenan.thomas@knoxnews.com.
And before we head out of here, just a couple more things. Check out that podcast description for a link to both our Urban Knoxville Facebook group and our Urban Knoxville newsletter. Both awesome ways to keep up with the downtown conversation, even beyond the Scruffy Stuff, and both free ways as well. So the Urban Knoxville Facebook group is a private group, so make sure you answer a couple questions and we'll get you in there so you can hop on in and join the downtown discussion. And the newsletter, usually Keenan and I take turns writing that, and those come out every Friday, usually tied to some sort of topic, some news going on, maybe looking ahead to things happening over the weekend. So again, just another great way to keep up with everything Knox News has to offer. And I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't think I am. Just thank you. Thanks for listening. Hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving and are having a happy holiday season. And throughout the holiday season, you know, we'll be here every Tuesday with a new episode. So come back. We're excited to share more news with you. And until next time, stay scruffy, Knoxville.